the pre-requirement, only one pre-requirement to learn AWS we have, and that is try to learn Linux operating system. If you are having a basic understanding about the Linux operating system, that's more than enough. So if you don't have the knowledge of Linux operating system, don't no worries. Go to the go to my YouTube channel. You have the YouTube. I have an YouTube channel. You can go to the YouTube channel. There you can find the Linux operating system videos. That the videos will be completely available in Telugu. So if you are okay with that, you can go and check it out. Or else, at least you can have a knowledge. Or else, whenever we are going for the configuration related things in AWS related things, I will try to tell you about the Linux also. So I will not say that you are going to learn complete Linux in this, but yes, you need to have a basic understanding about the Linux, and this is one of the pre-requirements, and the another prerequisites. The another thing is you need to have a knowledge on. So what are the another pre-requirements? The another pre-requirements is at least you need to have a laptop with the 4 GB of RAM is more than enough, and you need to have a very good internet connectivity so that you can do your practicals, and you need to have a software called as Putty or Putty, so that with the help of this we are able to log into our servers. So these are the pre-requirements which you need to have to learn AWS. So yes, how can we learn? What are the steps to learn the AWS? But before going for that, let me introduce myself. And hi, I'm Chaitanya. Uh, I have completed my so there are some 7 certifications for me like AWS, Microsoft certified, CCNA certified, and I'm a Terraform certified, Docker certified, like that. There are so many certifications for me, and I'm into this field from past 12 years. So I have I have been providing the training for Microsoft, like what are the Windows servers, the server administration, Microsoft server administration, and after that I have provided training for Linux administration, and then I have continuously going for the AWS administration things. So whatever the topics that you are going to learn, that is completely regarding the AWS cloud administration. So yes, I'm providing the training for the AWS, and then I started the training for DevOps also. Slowly now I'm introducing, I'm going into the Azure also, but now I did not start Azure. Yes, I am about to start the Azure also. So that's about myself, and there is so there is I worked as a system administrator in some. I don't want to specify the company name. Yes, I worked as a system administrator, and after that I have continuously doing this training sessions. So that's all about myself, and let us go for the next one. So this is what about myself. Now, if you want to learn AWS, how can you learn AWS? Not only AWS, now the market is wide open for the cloud. So here the cloud is there are huge variety of openings for the cloud administration, or else cloud engineers. So here I cannot say that only if you learn AWS, that's more than enough. You need to have, in addition with the AWS, you need to learn DevOps. Without learning these concepts, AWS plus DevOps, you cannot go further into the field. So definitely you need to have both knowledge. Either you need to have AWS plus DevOps, or else you can have Azure plus DevOps. So what I'm saying here is, first you need to have the basic understanding about the Linux, and after learning Linux, you need to have the basic understanding, or else you need to have the understanding about the AWS, or else here Azure also you can learn. So either any one of the cloud, starting with AWS or else Azure, you can go for that. And after learning any cloud, you can go for the next one as learn DevOps. Learn DevOps. After completion of DevOps, so uh, here everybody will say that there will be an we can learn Kubernetes with inclusion inside the DevOps itself, but I will recommend you that Kubernetes is a separate topic where you have to learn. So the topic will consisting of it's not a small topic to complete within the DevOps itself. It is like 40 to 45 sessions. Like as an AWS, how you are going to learn that in the same manner Kubernetes will also take 40 to 45 sessions to complete. So I recommend you to learn separately the Kubernetes. So Kubernetes will not included in the DevOps. Of course, it is a tool of DevOps also, but it's a very vast subject to learn. So I recommend you to learn whoever provides the training for Kubernetes in a separate manner. Of course, I will provide the training also, but as of now, we are completely looking into the AWS itself. So once DevOps is completed, then try to learn Kubernetes. And after that, if at all, if you complete Kubernetes training also, if you learn AWS here, then you have to learn Azure. Starting, if you learn AWS, now you can learn Azure. If you learn Azure at the starting, then you can complete the AWS. See, so the industry, whatever the IT industry, whatever the IT sector that you are looking back, of course, the IT sector is wide open for the cloud engineers or else DevOps engineers. But here, by learning a single cloud is not enough. When you go back to the sorry, learning a single cloud is not enough. So you need to have both clouds. You need to have the knowledge on both the clouds. One is AWS and the other one is Azure. These two are the leading cloud service providers in the market. So definitely you need to have the knowledge on both the things. So if you learn AWS in the beginning, as you are learning AWS now, then after completion, so if you get the job, definitely you are going to get a job on AWS plus DevOps. Why? Because in India, you need to have the basic knowledge of both Azure and AWS with the DevOps. But when you go for the outside of the India, like the US and UK, from as recession is going on in both the countries, US and UK, uh, after February or March, at the time of February or March, you are having a huge openings for AWS and DevOps. Yeah, one of my friend who is residing in UK, he said that there are huge openings. Chaitanya, you can have you can come to the UK also. So that is the reason why I'm saying you that there are huge openings are there when you go all around the world. If not only in India, you are having the scope for both the clouds. Having knowledge on single cloud is not enough, but when you go for the outside of the India, you are having a wide variety of openings for AWS and DevOps. So definitely, most of the companies are requesting the candidates to have the knowledge on both the things. So that is why I'm saying you try to learn the both. And after completion of Azure and AWS, then here, if you are still interested to learn more on cloud, so then you can go for the GCP configuration, Google Cloud Platform. And then, uh, I will not say that coding is necessary for learning cloud. But if you are interested to understand the development side also, here, whatever you are learning in AWS, whatever I am training you in the AWS, that is completely related to the infrastructure perspective. But if you are still interested to learn about the coding, so I want to learn coding, how it will be there in the development end. And next upcoming 2 to 3 years, every company is requesting the candidates, whoever are the DevOps engineers, every company is requesting the candidates to have the knowledge on Python. Python. So every candidate should have the knowledge on Python. Not right now, but once you get a chance, or else once you get a job, and then if you get a job, and then if you are interested towards learning the coding also. Why? Because DevOps is a combination of both developer and operations team. Now, whenever it is including of development and operations, if you learn Python, that will be handy for you. So this is the way how you can learn cloud. So if you understand the path very well, then that will be helpful for you to learn the cloud. So, no, sir, I directly want to jump into the cloud operating system. Now, directly, I want to jump into the DevOps. I don't want the AWS and all the things. I will directly jump into the DevOps. So, some of my students who are studying DevOps directly, they are bouncing back to the RLs. They are coming back to the cloud infrastructure also. They are trying to learn cloud, and then now they are going again. They are trying again. They are getting training on DevOps. So why? Because DevOps includes like some of the tools like Docker, Ansible, Terraform, Jenkins. Each and everything requires a knowledge on AWS infra. So how we are going to, if you at all, if you go for the DevOps, in DevOps you have to understand one of the concepts, some of the concepts like how to configure VPC. There is a tool called as Terraform. This Terraform tool will help you to deploy the infrastructure. If what are the infrastructure that is available, how can you create an infrastructure with the help of code that you will understand with the help of a tool called as Terraform. This Terraform includes how to create VPC, how to create resources, and all the things. So these resources, what is meant by VPC, what is meant by EC2 instances, and how you are going to create a load balancer, all these things you will learn in the AWS. So without knowledge of the cloud, if you directly jump into the DevOps, that is like uh, entering into an engineering college without having a knowledge of 10th or intermediate. So it will be like that. So definitely you need to have a knowledge on cloud. Once you have knowledge on cloud, then you can jump back to the DevOps. If you don't trust me, you can ask any of your uh, so if any of your friends working as a cloud engineer, you can ask him whether we can directly jump into the DevOps or definitely I need to learn cloud. He will say that learn cloud and then you have to go to the DevOps only. So this is the path that you have to go. And yes, you should have a basic knowledge on Linux with the help. Not only Linux, you need to have one more knowledge that is. I will not say that it is mandatory, but yes, you need to have the knowledge on networking also. So not the complete knowledge of networking, TCP/IP protocols, and all the things. You need to have the basic understanding of networking. So what is meant by network, how we are going to configure network, what is meant by IP address, and how a computer will communicate, how one computer will communicate with the another computer, and then what is an IP address, what are the different classes of IP addresses, and what is meant by CIDR. These are all the things that you need to understand. So yes, networking is also mandatory. I will not say that the complete networking is mandatory, but yes, you need to have the basic understanding about the networking also. These are the mandatory things to learn cloud. So we will discuss about the networking. We will discuss about the not about the complete networking, but basic networking concepts that are required for you to understand the AWS and Azure. I will try to make you understand about those things, and then we will go for cloud. Whenever you are getting training on the cloud, at that time I will try to explain you about some of the Linux commands also, so that you can have a clarity of networking, Linux, and then with the cloud itself. So these are the concepts that we are going to learn. I am saying we are not going to get the complete Linux training, but yes, whenever we are getting a train, whenever we are trying to learn about AWS, there I will include the Linux also. So some of the basic, whatever required for the AWS perspective, in the AWS perspective, whatever required, I will try to include that. So hope you understand this. And the next one is why we require this networking. Whenever I want to deploy any VPC, like if I want to configure any VPC, or else if I want to configure any instances in the sense any EC2 instance or else anything. So there you need to provide some of the CIDRs. If you go here, if I go for VPC and I want to deploy a VPC here, so what I am going to do, what is meant by VPC? I will try to make you understand this. But when you give here it is asking for you about, here it is asking you the CIDR. It is a required thing. Without CIDR, what is meant by this CIDR? We will learn this in the networking sessions. But if you don't know what is meant by CIDR, then you cannot create a VPC. So it is mandatory to have a basic understanding about the IP addresses and all the things. So I recommend you to concentrate on the networking also. So once we have done with this, then we can go further into the EC2 instances and all the things. If you want to have the knowledge, what we are going to learn in AWS training sessions, what we are learning in the AWS training sessions, go to durgasoft.com. If you go to durgasoft.com, here you are having the complete syllabus. What is this? AWS, only AWS, AWS with Linux. Here you can have the complete syllabus, complete curriculum, or else I can say you the curriculum also. But if you want to have this, you can go here. Here you are having the complete curriculum, what you are going to learn in the AWS. So if you go through this, you can have a brief understanding what you are going to learn about AWS, so that you can have a clarity. So this is about your AWS concepts that you are going to learn. And yes, first of all, the next one is why we have to go for the cloud. So here this completely today is the best. Today is the demo session. So I have shown you the path to learn the cloud computing, and then what are the prerequirements that you need to have a basic understanding about, and then you need to have, if you want the curriculum, you can go through this curriculum. Here what you are going to learn, you are going to learn about VPC. See here, the first one is introduction to cloud. What is meant by cloud and why we need to have the cloud and what is the necessity of data centers. So what is meant by a data center, and after that we are going to learn about AWS regions and availability zones and understanding about the IP addressing and subnetting. We will so I already said you about the networking concept. You will come to know about this IP addressing and subnetting concept, and after that we will be diving back into the VPC, that is virtual private cloud. In the virtual private cloud, what is virtual private cloud, how to create the virtual private cloud, and all the things we will learn. And after that, VPC peering, NAT gateway, VPC security, and VPN connectivity. Here I will try to show you the VPN connectivity in an by combining two different clouds. I will try to provide the VPN connectivity. If possible, I will continue with this class, or else I will skip the VPN connectivity and I will try to tell in the last at the end of the sessions. And at the same time, we are going to learn about transit gateway, and then I will introduce you to the EC2 instances, how to deploy the EC2 instances, what are the different options that are available in the EC2 instances, and then we will go for the launch templates and introduction about EBS, Elastic Block Storage, and then we will go for the snapshots. Okay, and then we'll go for the next one is load balancers. What are the different types of load balancers that we are having? Network load balancers and application load balancers, and what is the target groups? What is meant by target group? And then we will be configure. We are going to configure the network load balancer, and then we will be configuring the application load balancer, and then we will go for the SSL certificate with the help of certificate manager. And then so certificate manager is also one of the service that is included in the AWS itself. In the AWS there is a service called a certificate manager, how to generate the certificate. These are all the things that we are going to learn. And then how to, what is meant by route 53, and how to provide a domain name, whatever the domain name that we purchase from the third party websites like GoDaddy or else Namecheap. From this domain, these are the domain name providers. These are the named domain providers. With the help of GoDaddy or else all the things, how can we integrate the third party domain name with my AWS account? Okay, these are the things that we are going to learn, and then we will be learning about CloudFront. And I will try to configure S3 static website with the CloudFront, and then we will go for the next one, Global Accelerator. After that, we will go in for auto scaling groups. You are going to learn about auto scaling groups also. And then in the systems manager, there is a service called as systems manager. You can come to know about the systems manager also. And SSM parameter stores and all the things you are going to learn. After that, S3 buckets. What is meant by S3 storage? If I have to say about the S3 buckets, I will conclude that as a storage services. So what is meant by S3 bucket? What is meant by object storage, and how we can store the data into the S3 bucket? How can we provide the permissions for the S3 buckets? And then what is meant by access points? What are the different options that will management of S3 buckets? All the things you are going to learn here. And after that, you are going to learn about the databases. I will not say that you are going to learn the complete databases like creation commands, select command, queries. You are not going to learn about the queries, but here in AWS, we are having a service called as database service. How can we configure database services? Just the creation of databases you are going to learn. How can we configure databases, and what are the different types of databases that we are having? So SQL database and NoSQL database. What is the main difference between SQL database and NoSQL database? These are the concepts that you are going to learn. And after that, deploy MySQL RDS multi-zone availability zone database. So you are going to configure a database which is redundant or else which will be highly available. So that is what you are going to learn about MySQL database. After learning of MySQL database, you will be learning about DynamoDB with the help of API gateway and Lambda functions. So after that, you are going to learn about the CloudWatch, what is meant by CloudWatch, and how we are going to schedule the logs and all the things that you are going to learn in the CloudWatch. After that, we will be diving back into the IAM policies. So I will not say that we are going in this manner only. There might be sometimes some of the things will be going up and down. So IAM identity and access management. Here you are going to learn about how to create the users and what is meant by roles and all the things. And after that, we will be going back to the, if possible, this I can show you AWS migration. This is a star mark, guys. I cannot definitely say that we are going to learn about the migration services, but yes. Why? Because migration service from on premises, if I have to show you from on premises to the cloud environment, or else from cloud to on premises, if I want to transfer the data, it will take I need to have a huge configuration things, so it will take some time. So migration, it is a star mark. I will not say that definitely you are going to learn about this, but yes, if possible, I will tell you about this. And the next one is cloud formation. How can we create a cloud with the infrastructure as a code? So by writing the code without logging into our console, we can provide the access for, or else we can create the access to the, or else we can create the resources. What are the resources like VPC, EC2 instances, all these things we can create with the help of cloud formation. And after that, you will learn about the Lambda function. This is what we are going to learn in the entire syllabus. Hope you understand the syllabus also. Is there any queries that you want to ask me regarding the syllabus and regarding your concept, regarding your AWS concepts?
Yeah, sir, am I audible?
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. Actually, I'm a Java developer, and my team suggested to learn AWS. Is
Mhm.
this the course good for me, or I should go for something else? Like for developers, one kind of AWS, and for administrators, another kind of AWS, something like
There
that.
are no such AWS. Okay, there are not
Okay,
two AWS. One is for developer and other one is for the administration perspective. See, as a Java
okay,
developer, you know how to develop an application, but you don't know how to deploy the application and what will be in the backend, right? So, what
okay.
are the different servers that are available, and how can we deploy the application into the servers and all the things? I think you know about the WAR files and JAR files, right? Uh, as a
Yes,
developer, you
yes.
know about these files, right? So if we develop those
Yeah.
files, how can we deploy that into the servers? So if you don't know that, if you cannot understand that, how can you make the, or else how can you know what will happen in the backend? You will only learn about, you know only about front end only. So whenever the application is done, it's your part is done. If you develop an application or else like what in general what you are going to do, you will develop an website. For example, if I take an web application, we will develop a front end and you will integrate the front end with the Java, and the Java will be integrating that with the database. Once it is done, the entire application is completed, and you will give it to the you will hand over the entire application to the operations team. operations team who
Hmm.
nothing but the server administrators and all the things. They will from there they will take care of everything. So you are supposed to give the complete demo. So this is this amount, this much amount of RAM, or else this is the application which will be what you can say, which can be deployed in the Windows server, or else which can be deployed in the Linux server. You will say that, and your work is done. Now it is the work of the administrator to deploy that on the, and you will say that this particular application is designed on this particular port number, so that you can run this application and all the things. You will completely say the requirements and you will ask them to develop a server. Now, how to develop the server, what is meant by VPC, and what are the things that you will understand in this sessions. What will happen in the perspective of like operations team perspective. Okay. So, and again,
Yeah.
I'm saying there is no developer point of AWS and there is no operations point of AWS. There is only single AWS. That AWS is a cloud which will provide you the infrastructure to develop, to build your applications. Okay, whatever the applications that you are having,
Okay.
how can you deploy the applications into the servers and how to access the applications from the servers. So yes, it is completely regarding the infra only. Okay, hope you understand
Yeah.
this.
Thank you,
Yes.
sir.
Any
And
other?
one more question I have, like,
Mhm. Yeah, go on.
uh, in AWS, like, we will have different levels of certifications, like you said, like admin or architect kind of things. With
Mhm.
this course, what certifications I can go for? I can write for.
See, one thing I would like to suggest you that certifications are not mandatory to have, but yes, if you want to go and write the certification, you can go for the associate level. AWS Solution
Okay.
Associate, Architect Associate level certification, you can write it out. And one more thing here,
Okay.
what I want to suggest you is that whatever the topics that you are going to learn here in the classes, whatever you are learning, I will not say that. So you require 80% of marks to qualify for your to complete the certification. So if I have to specify this, whatever the topics that you are learning in these classes, these topics are completely related to the company infra itself. So if I have to say company related concepts that you are going to learn, entire real-time concepts. I will not say that I am going to provide a real-time project and all the things. Real-time projects are not available for AWS. So if you are trying to learn AWS, I will tell you in the perspective of the in the company perspective, what is the requirement for the companies and all things. But if you are going for the certification, it is completely a different path. So certification is a theoretical manner. So here what you are doing, you are going to experience the practical experiences. So there will be a difference between these two things. So I cannot say that definitely you need to go through the theoretical concepts also. From where you need to go for the theoretical concepts, I will say you whenever you start the AWS configurations and all things. But yes, with the help of this course, you can complete the associate level certification. Is that clear?
Yeah. Thank you, sir. I got clarity. Like, so what we go through here is the real-time concepts, not the theoretical concepts.
Yeah,
So to write the exam, we need a little theoretical knowledge also. So for that, we have to go additionally, like Google it or whatever the materials we can get.
yeah. You have
That
to
we
get
can
the
go.
terms
We
for
can
that.
get some, yeah. Because
Yeah,
overall, what we need is the practical knowledge, not the theoretical thing, right?
yeah. For the
That's what you
companies,
are
you
going
require
to.
the practical knowledge. Yes, that I am going to
Yes.
introduce here.
Sir, I have one
Okay.
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, go on.
Sir, I'm a junior automation tester, and on the
Mhm,
interviews, usually they
mhm,
asking, "Do you know AWS or no?"
mhm.
Is this enough knowledge for testers? This
Yes, it's more than enough, but when you go for the testing perspective also, in testing also you need to have a basic understanding about Sonar Cube. So Sonar Cube is basically for the monitoring purpose. For the testing, there is a concept called as Sonar Cube is a concept that you need to have a basic understanding. What is meant by Sonar Cube? It's a code testing tool that will be included in the DevOps. So I will recommend you, if at all, if you are testing people also, try to learn AWS inclusion of DevOps also. With only a single AWS is not sufficient for any candidate who is into the development or else who is trying to learn newly into who is new into the cloud infra also. So only cloud is not enough. Definitely you need to have the understanding about the DevOps also. I will recommend you to learn both. Okay.
Thank you so
So
much.
here whatever you are learning in the AWS perspective, whatever you are going to learn in the AWS perspective, that will be completely infra itself. So for a testing person, you need to have the basic understanding about the infra. Once you learn AWS, then if you try to learn DevOps, in DevOps, you will have some testing tools. So there, if you learn DevOps also, that will be helpful for you a lot. Okay.
Okay, thank you
Yes.
so much.
Thank you. Any another queries, guys? Any another queries regarding any basic doubts you can ask me. And the session, whatever the session that we are that you are attending, the 7 o'clock session, the session will be exactly at 7 o'clock. Sometimes it might be at 7:05 also 7:05 7 time 7:10. Sometimes it might be moving on. And the session timings will be 1 hour from 7 to 8. It might be prolonged sometimes. Sometimes it might be depending upon the topic. It might be prolonged to 8 to 8:15 also, or also 8:30 also. So maximum 1.5 hours the timings. Please make this schedule. So there might be a class of 1.5 hour, and the classes will be on weekdays only. That is from Monday to Friday. Weekends will be holiday for you. So Saturday and Sunday, so that you can do your practicals at the time. And yes, this is about the class timings and the fees. Regarding the fees perspective, you can contact the management team so that they can suggest you about the fees and all the things. Fees details and all the things they are going to provide you. And that's about what you have to do in the whatever you have to do for the configuration of to learn the AWS, not about the configurations to learn the AWS, what is the how you can approach the management. Everything will be available in the chat. You can see that, and what are the timings of your AWS learning or also AWS training sessions. Okay. Any another queries that you want to ask me? You can ask me now. If not, I will dive into the next concept. Any other queries?
In the beginning of the session, you said you had a YouTube channel, right? Can we know the name of
Yeah,
the YouTube channel?
it's CGIT is the channel. Let me. I will give it to you. Just give me a second. That's not a very big channel, just because of your uh, understanding. I just gave it, so you can go here. So it's a you will be having only a small concepts will be there. If you go and try to learn that, you will have the basic understanding, basic networking concepts also. Like you will have each and every concept regarding the Linux. You can go from there. So here you will have the what is the introduction to Linux and AWS courses and DevOps, and you will have the Linux history, and then you will go for the Linux installation, basic Linux file system hierarchy. All these things will be available. It's just a small channel, small basic videos will be available here. If you are interested, go and try it, go and check it out once there. Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
That, yeah. That's about the Linux configurations and all the things. Any another queries, guys?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes. Your voice is very low, but you are audible. Tell me.
I'm working as a data engineer. I'm looking for services like EMR, Kinesis, and Athena, Redshift. Uh, are we going to cover
Mhm.
that in this session?
Athena will be provided, but ETL topics you are asking, right?
Yeah, Glue, Amazon Glue, and
Glue, Amazon Glue, and Athena. These are the topics that you are trying to learn. Uh, Yes, I will not say that completely you are going to learn about everything, but you are going to learn about Athena and Glue. I will try to include that. As of now, I did not started the classes for Glue and Athena for the students who are asking. So as of now, whenever I start the classes, every student is asking about the data center. Sorry, it's about completely like it will comes under the big data, right? So whatever the concept that you are asking, ETL concepts, those are. I did not introduce that into the concept, but from this batch, at least from this batch, I will try to introduce that into the AWS. Yes, you will try. You will learn about Athena and Glue also.
And what
Okay.
about Redshift and
Redshift, it's a
Kinesis?
basic concept. It's not complete concept that you are going to learn how to configure Redshift. The only basic concept you are going to learn about the Redshift.
Okay. And what about Kinesis?
That I am not introducing. That you don't have in this configuration. Why? Because each and every tool I cannot say that. If I have to say about the each and every tool that is in AWS, that will take around, there are 200 services. It is going to take so much amount of time. But the tools that are required for you, I am going to introduce you.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there any other training relevant to data engineering for AWS?
Uh, Relevant to data engineering, there's no. I don't think there is a training for that.
Okay.
If you go for any institute in the Hyderabad, or else if you go for any institute in Bangalore also, you will have, if at all, if anybody are discussing about the AWS, they will provide you the training on only these concepts. You can see any syllabus also. The syllabus of cloud will be only regarding the infra itself. Okay. So if possible, I will introduce the Glue and Athena also. I will introduce you to that. No problem. Any another questions? So whoever are asking about the course content will be available in the durgasoft.com. If you go to the durgasoft.com website, here you can see the AWS course content. You can have the entire course content over here. You can go through this and try to get the clarity about the course content, the course that you are going to learn. Okay. Any another questions, guys? Chalo. If there is no more questions, I will get back to the topic that we are going to learn. Here, what is the main thing is that, so why we are moving towards the cloud. So whenever you see everybody are trying to move towards the cloud, cloud is very necessary. Nowadays, cloud is very, very necessary. Why it is more necessary? Why previously it is not introduced in all the things that we are going to learn? Here, when you go back to the past, like 1990s and 1980s, if you see here, each and every company don't know what is meant by virtualization, don't know what is meant by cloud and all the things. They used to have their own physical servers. So these physical servers are very much expensive. So if you want to deploy an application, definitely you need to have a physical server. So once you are having a physical server, you will deploy an application. So whenever you deploy the application, what is going to happen? For a single application, the entire physical server will be accessed, which means that suppose there is an application, for example, there is a website or else web app that is running on a server, and this web app requires basic of 2 GB of RAM and somewhere like 500 GB of hard disk, and depending upon the hard disk, depending upon the database and all the things. These are the requirements of your application. From my side, there is no network connectivity problem. You can check from your end. There might be a network connectivity problem. So that's the reason there will be noise. Noise is not, oh, sorry, voice is not clear. So you can check your network connectivity. Okay. So when you come back here, so this is the application which is running on the physical server. Whenever that is running there, so you can provide a single server. So the server might be of somewhere like 32 GB of RAM, 32 GB of RAM, and somewhere like there will be an NAS connectivity or SAN connectivity like of storage will be there, or else simply I have to say there will be a storage of 2 TB of storage is there. For example, for your understanding, I'm saying that. So this is how your server capacity is this. So to purchase the server, you need to spend somewhere like somewhere like 2 to 4 lakhs or else 5 lakhs of money to purchase this single physical server. So if you want to see the physical servers, there are several types of physical servers. I will just introduce you a. I will just show you a server. Mm, So if you go and check it out, so this is how your physical servers will be looking like. or else this is the HP server, this is the rack server and all the things. This actually in general, this is how your servers will be looking like. Or else if I have to show you, I will show you like HP Gen 10 servers. Okay. So this is how your server will be looking like. And if you want to purchase, it is going to the expense. You need to spend like a lot of money for this to purchase this physical server. But once you get this physical server, and one physical server is completely dedicated for a single application. Why can't we dedicate it for the multiple application? For example, this application, whatever the application that you deployed in this physical server, that application is if you provide a special offer in that particular website. For example, this is a website where you are where a client will be coming to you. Actually, what is happening here? For example, if at all, if you are having an IT service company, just let me introduce you to this. If at all, if you are having a IT service company, this is your IT service company, and there is a client here. These are the normal terms whichever you are hearing in the IT industry. So there is a client, and client has to give you the project. Who is the client here? A client is the person or the company which will provide you the project. So what is meant by a project? A project is, so if the client company, or else client means is he is a CEO, or else he is a manager of a company. Which company it is? It might be the company other than an IT company. It might be a non-IT company like mobile industry, who is manufacturing the mobile stores, or else whatever, everything, e-commerce sites, everything will comes under the client itself. Now, what happens here? For example, there is a client called as Flipkart. Just for your understanding, I'm saying there is a client called as Flipkart. So the person or else the manager of this Flipkart will come to you, will approach to the IT service company. Why? Because they don't know what is IT and all the things. If at all, suppose if you think this, they will approach to an IT service company like TCS, Infosys, Wipro, and all this comes under the IT service company. When they approach this IT service company, they will ask that I want to have I need to have a website, or else I need to have a web application, so that that application will be accessible by my clients, by the clients who are clients, nothing but the customers who are accessing the Flipkart website. So what they are going to do, they are going to approach to this particular company, whatever the IT service company is there, they will approach the IT service company. So now what IT service company will do? IT service company will first they will develop an application. For example, this is the application that has to given for the Flipkart. Now this application will be deployed into the servers. Whatever the application that is developed, this application will be deployed into the servers. Now, in the olden days, like olden days in the sense when you go beyond 2000s, 1990, and at the time, there will be only a single physical server for a single application. So, if you think that a single server is necessary, is more than enough for a single application, suddenly, if the load on this particular application is increased, so if the load on the application is increased, automatically you need to increase the resources also. Load on the application is increasing means if the number of users that are accessing the application is increased, so the load on the server will be increased. So the application will be accessing more resources, which means that you need to increase more resources on the server. So you need to deploy an application in a single server, single physical server. But the load on the server is keep on increasing. If the load on the server is keep on increasing, then you need to deploy another physical server also for this application. So like this, if you want to deploy another application, you need to go for the deployment of another physical server. Like that, the cost will be very high. It is more expensive when you go for the physical server. Now, what is the solution for this? So many IT techies are thinking about this, and they have developed a concept called as, this is the main concept that helps you to later on, that help you to create the cloud. The concept here is virtualization. So what is meant by virtualization? Virtualization is a concept where you are going to provide, or else you will be providing a single server. There will be a single server inside the single physical server. what you are going to do? You are going to deploy multiple servers again. So in the single physical server, whatever you are having inside the single physical server, you are going to deploy the multiple virtual machines. So you can deploy the Windows virtual machine and you can deploy the Linux virtual machine. Whenever you require, automatically you can increase the resources also. So this is the concept which is behind the cloud formation. Whatever the cloud that you are accessing now, the entire cloud relies on the virtualization concept itself. For example, let me show you this. If you see here, I am accessing my Windows system, right? So I am accessing Windows system. Whenever you are accessing the Windows system, so I want to run a Linux application. Suppose there is a Linux application. If I want to run my Linux application, how can I run that? I am accessing my Windows system. I need to have another operating system or else another computer so that I can access the Linux operating system, or else I can go for the dual booting. If at all, at a time, if I want to run Linux application and at the same time Windows application at the simultaneous process, if I want to do that, then simply I can go for the virtualization, where virtualization, I am going to install the Red Hat Linux in my Windows operating system also. But now this is the virtualization. So here you are having a physical machine. Whatever the Windows operating system that you are using, that I am using, this is my physical laptop. In this laptop, I have installed a concept. I have installed a simple application called as VMware, that is Virtualization Manager. So with the VMware itself, I have deployed a server, that is my Linux server. So in my Windows operating system itself, I am able to access the virtualized missions. So virtualized missions are not so it's those are not imaginary missions. You can have your entire data inside the virtual missions. Whatever the missions that you are deploying in the AWS console, whatever the missions that you are deploying in the AWS console, all these missions, all the EC2 instances are the virtualized instances. They are not the physical instances. They are completely the virtualized instances. So this is how the virtualization is the mother, or else I can say that it is the main thing beyond your cloud configurations. Whenever it comes to how what is the base of your cloud, the base of my cloud is the virtualization concept. Once the virtualization is introduced. Once the virtualization is introduced, then after that, slowly the cloud is developed. Why cloud is developed and what is the main basic thing to have the cloud? That we will learn in the next class. Now here, what is the now? So if you see here, what is the cons? So if at all, if you are deploying in the virtualization also, if you are having the virtualization also, if you are having the virtual missions also, there are some problems. So there will be a networking problem. I will tell you about why we are migrating for the cloud in the next class. But as of now, if you want to deploy a website, for example, if you want to deploy a website, then what you need to do, you need to purchase a mission, you need to purchase you need to purchase a server. Inside that server, you need to configure Windows or else Linux operating system, and then what you need to do, you need to install your application. It is going to take so much amount of time to deploy that, to reduce the time constraint, to reduce the cost constraint. So now we are diving back into the cloud. So if you see here, just within a snap of my finger, I can create an application. Just let me show you that how I am going to develop. So I will go for the launch instance. Just I am showing you for your understanding purpose. Example server. I will give the name of the server as example server, and I will go down. I will select AWS Linux. You can come to know about all these options in the later on session, but just concentrate on what I am saying. So key pair will be AWS India B4, and then I am going to provide the VPC as dev VPC, and then select an existing security group, and I will select this, and I will, if you go down here in the advanced details, I will just provide the data here. So what I am going to get, if you see here, within a short span of time, I can install my server and I can run my applications. So what I am going to do here is, I have installed my server. When I launch the server, within 2 minutes, my application will be up and running. So that my server, I have deployed a server, and with the deployment of the server, my application is also running. So this is how within a snap of your finger, you can develop whatever the application that you want. You can so you don't need to worry about the back-end processes. You can simply concentrate on your application development. So what are the versions that I have to develop, or what are the updates that I need to give for my application? You can completely concentrate on your application itself. You don't need to worry about the networking. You don't need to worry about servers and all the things. So everything will be handled by the Amazon itself. So only one thing that you need to bother is your application itself, application and the data. So now if you select the example server, and this is the public DNS, copy the public DNS and paste it over here, and directly you will be able to access your website. So just wait for a while. So you will be able to access your website. Just wait for a while. You can access it. Why? Because we have provided the data inside the inside the server. Whenever the server is installing, automatically the data has to get, or else the data has to execute. So what I have given here, some of the Linux commands. So what are the Linux commands that I have provided? First of all, I want to update the server. For updation of the server, the command that we are using is yum update. After that, I want to install a service called as Nginx. So Nginx is a web services which will be helpful for you to deploy the websites. And I want to start the Nginx and I need to enable the Nginx. So these are the commands. And later on session, you will learn about these commands also. But as of now, I am directly giving this command so that my server will be able to provide me this application. Now let me show you that what is going to happen. See that from the server, whatever the server that I am running, automatically I am able to access this application. Not only me, you also can access the application. Try to access this. I will provide you in the chat box, and everyone try to access that website, whatever the URL that I have provided. Just try to access the website and tell me whether are you able to access the website that I am showing you here. Try to access and so just tell me, are you able to access this? I think everyone will get the website.
Yes.
Okay, which means that simply within short span of time, I am able to create a website. Not only this, so we will be learning about how to deploy the other type of websites and all the things you will come to know in the next session. But what is my agenda here? What is my requirement? That what is the thing that you need to understand is you don't go to the shops and you don't need to provide, or else you don't need to code for your servers, and you don't need to wait until the servers are coming, and you don't need to, the waiting time will be reduced and the cost is also going to be reduced. Everything will be in the hands of the cloud administrator. If you want to deploy the servers, it is everything will be in the hands of the cloud administrator. Within short span, you can make the application up and running. So that is the reason why we are going for the cloud, and there are so many reasons beyond this. We will discuss about all those things in the next class. So that's about how you can access, why we are going for the cloud and all the things. So if you have any further queries, you can ask me right now, and remaining concepts we will discuss in the next class. Hope you understand the session. Is there any queries that you want to ask me? You can ask me right now, or else we are going to end the session. Yes, any other queries that you want to ask me? I have given you so what we have discussed in this class, we have discussed like what is the path that you need to learn if you want to learn the cloud environment, and then I discussed about why we are going for the cloud, and I discussed about the curriculum that you are going through. These are all the concepts that we have seen in this class. From next class onwards, we are going back into the main topic, like what is meant by cloud and all the things. Yes, very good questions. Recordings will be provided for you every day. Day-to-day recordings will be provided, and whatever the documents that I am using in the AWS configuration, all the documents will be shared with you. So don't worry about that. Is that clear? Any another queries? Okay. So that's all. Have a nice day, and bye. We'll meet in the next session. The next session will be started at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Uh, do we need to learn DevOps? First, if you learn AWS, then you can go for the DevOps learning. Okay, directly, there is no necessity of learning DevOps. Right now, you don't need to learn DevOps. Once you complete the AWS configurations, then after completion of AWS, then you can go for the DevOps. Am I clear? Okay. Uh, will you eat curd rice first and then you can go for the eating of curry of, so it will be like learning DevOps first and going for the AWS second. You will not understand anything in the DevOps if you don't learn AWS. I'm sure shortly saying that. Why? Because in DevOps you have to come across the cloud infra itself. So if you want to learn DevOps, so that's the reason at the starting of the class only I said you that if you don't learn AWS and diving into the DevOps directly, then again you have to come back and learn AWS. Why? You can directly go to the first of all complete AWS and then go for the DevOps. It is I think okay. Yeah. Yes, majority of the cloud infra is requesting, or also most number of the cloud, whoever are AWS, or either it might be AWS or also Azure or also GCP. Not only for AWS, for any cloud that you want to learn, 90% of the cloud operators are using Linux operating system. So majority, not about the cloud operators, majority number of the clients are also accessing the Linux operating system. Yes, we need to have a basic understanding about the Linux operating system. Okay. Required, I will not say that. Yes, required thing is Linux. Hmm. Any another questions, guys? Chalo then. Have a nice day. We'll meet in the next session and discuss about more on AWS itself. Have a nice day and bye. I'm terminating the session, guys.
Hello. Good evening to everybody. Can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Yeah. Today we are going to start small concept related to Oracle database product. Oracle. These are demo classes. Don't forget anything. Just observe it, whatever I am telling only. Oracle. This Oracle is a product from Oracle Corporation. Everyone knows. This is a pure database product. What is that one? I will tell you. But before that one, some versions are there in Oracle. Oracle 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, 5.0, 6.0, 6.1, 5.1 also there. And now here 7.0, 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, 8.0, 8.1.5, 8.1.6, 8.1.7. That is also called as 8i, 9i, 10G, 11G, 12C, 18C, 19C, and the latest one, 21C. But in our class, this software is available. 19C we are learning only. Oh, C means cloud technology. Cloud computing is there. In a olden days, grid computing is there. Now cloud. What is cloud and all these things we are understandable. Now this is Oracle 19C. 19C means cloud technology. Observe it here. This is the latest version we are learning in our class. But what is this Oracle? Slowly observe it here, screen observe it. Oracle is a product from Oracle Corporation. Okay, but here this is a database product. Observe it here. Oracle is a database product. That is so many fellows having idea. Oracle is a database product. Okay, fine. And now check it out. Not only Oracle, so many database products are available in our country. Okay, sorry. In a software side, so many database products are available. Suppose Oracle is a database product from Oracle Corporation. Observe it here. Different companies. Again, maybe so many fellows having idea. SQL Server is a database product from Microsoft. DB2 is a database product from IBM company. MySQL is a database product that is an open source, but nowadays Oracle Corporation only purchasing. Again, Sybase is a database product from Ingress Corporation. Again, Teradata, maybe so many fellows having idea, data warehousing application programmers. Teradata is a database product from NCR Corporation. SQLite is a database product. Like this, so many database products are there from different companies only. Okay, na? That's why always Oracle is a one of the popular database product. Okay, fine. Database. Don't write it anything. Just observe here, database. But what is the purpose of these database products means everyone knows. Whenever we are installing these database products in our system, otherwise company side, what is the main purpose means? For storing data, don't write it anything, observe it here. For storing data permanently, for storing data permanently in secondary storage devices. Secondary storage devices means maybe hard disk or not. Yes, here. One of these. Okay, secondary storage devices. Okay, fine. Permanent. Suppose today we are storing our data means after 5 years, 10 years, after 10 years, after 20 years, after 100 years, after also your data is available. We are using. Now that's why always these are Oracle is a product from Oracle Corporation. Some version number is there. This is a database product. One of the popular database is a Oracle is a product from Oracle Corporation. But what is the purpose of that one means? For storing data permanently in secondary storage devices. Now slowly observe it here. Actually, so many database applications are there in a worldwide. 90% of these software applications are depends on